get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back.
Hello, my good people. How are you tonight? Hi, Mr. Y. How are you? James, how are you? No, thank you for being here like always. All right. I want to touch on this just because you know what? Okay, everybody can have their opinion about him, right? But once you go looking into his criminal record, okay, and all these court documents, you see a totally different person, okay? Okay, these people are nuts. I'm sorry. Okay, I guess I'm trying to help these women and save them. I don't know. Okay, so we're just going to go through this real quick, and I do want to check out the interview, just a little bit of it with his dad. Okay, now I think I got all 41 charges he has gotten in less than 10 years. Yes, people, you heard it, 10 years, okay? He's been arrested 9 times, okay? So we're just going to go through this real quick. I'm not going to, read the documents or anything. I'm going to read all the charges. And it's pretty scary. All right, here we go. All right. Burglary, you guys know what I'm saying. Grand theft, petty theft, first offense, criminal mischief, resisting arrest without violence, S, battery by threats believed, S, battery, and another one by threats. A third one, S, battery by threats, kidnapping, resisting arrest without violence, contributing to the delinquency of a child. That child was 12 years old, okay, with this charge here. Let's see. Firearms, possession of a firearm. False report Okay, he gave false information of who he is. Now he did it to he gave a fake name too to Christine and Diane. Reckless driving, trespassing, resisting arrest. I'm not done yet. That's just one county. All right. All right. Let's see. Okay, this is let's see, what did he get here? He didn't have a driver's license. Okay. Got busted. I mean, it all matters. Non-moving violation, driving with a suspended license. He gave a false name to law enforcement. And this was in 2019. Let's see, what's this one? Another traffic violation. Okay, that's his first offense, so he had 2 offenses. Okay, let's go to another county. All right, let's go to this county. All right. Domestic violence. What's this one here? Oh, shoot. Hold on. Hate it when it does that. I have everything ready, you guys. Everything. All right. Give me a minute. I don't know. People glorifying him, and because, you know, they think he's cute. Oh my God, you guys. I just don't get it. How scary. You know what? I don't know what's scarier, him or these women. Okay, the documents to this case is it's a felony, but they're not saying what. Let's see, maybe they do. Maybe. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let's look at his charges. Hold on a minute. Charges. All right. Case review. Uh-oh. Hold on a minute. That ain't it. Dealing in stolen property, false verification of ownership, pawnbroker. So something at the pawn shop. All right. Let's see. All right. All right. Here he is. Battery touch, domestic violence, burglary of a dwelling, 2nd degree, petty theft, 3 criminal mischiefs, 1 battery, and this is 1st degree murder, 2 grand thefts, 3 battery, 4 degree, 4 1st degree murders, 5 burglary, and 6. This has to do with the case he just got convicted for. Escape, prisoner. Let's see. Criminal mischief. There's another one, and where is it? He's got another one. Or maybe it's in with this one. Drugs. Sneaking in drugs. I don't know where it's at. Believe me, people. You know I don't just, say bullshit out of my mouth. And this is what I tried to tell people. This guy ain't going nowhere, okay? No matter what, he's always going to be locked up. And all these people glorifying him, it makes me sick. So let's see, how many open cases does he have? Besides, let's see. Okay, that's closed. That's open. Let's see, this one's open. Oh, here it is. Attempt trafficking of meth. 2, conspiracy to traffic that also. And mind you, I did read the documents on that. And I think I've done it here too. And we can find out how stupid he is. He's, okay, I'm going to be honest. He is a dumb criminal, you guys. Because he tells on himself. Okay? Dumb criminal. So what do you guys think about that? So I'm going to close all these out now. Maybe I'll go through them. Let me see. Oh, good. I can go through those. Mind you, okay, the ones, okay. I just want to say this, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to go through these, not right now. Yes, these are closed, but yes, these are charges, okay? And the oldest one is, okay, 2012. That's when his problem started, 2012. He is an adult. He made these poor decisions. Nobody else. He did it. Him. And yes. Hold on. All right, I gotta find it. Hold on. Watch later, I think it was. Oh no. Oh, come on. For real? Okay, that one ain't yet. Okay, I found it.
Well, it's time to find a new apartment on Zillow.
Oh no.
Welcome everybody to another interview episode of
All right. Here's the guy's channel. Sub up, give him a like. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up a different way. Hold on.
Welcome everybody to another interview episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. That's right. Today, from Wade Wilson's father. And for anybody that hasn't been following this case, Wade Wilson killed 2 innocent women very gruesomely. And we're going to get into some of those details today and how he confessed everything to his father. Not to mention, we're going to go into how his father feels about all this and speak about some things that weren't even brought up in the courtroom. So let's get into it. If you enjoyed this type of content, all things lockup and crime related, then this is absolutely where you need to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. All right, buddy. So what's your name and where are you from for the people that might not know?
My name is Steve. I'm from Lakeland, Florida.
All right, let's start from the beginning, man. Take the ship.
I was young. My mom and dad had they divorced, so it was just me and her. And my sister was ripping and running, and I knew Wade's
Okay, I
mom,
just want to say this real quick.
and
Boy, does he look like his dad or what? They got the same eyes and they got the same dimples. Just, thought I'd point that out.
she got pregnant. I was 15, she was 14. And, we tried. My mom, she had lung cancer, and she was excited to be a grandma, and she died a month before he was born.
Hmm.
So,
I mean, what'd you do after that? That's pretty much the only person that you're leaning on at the time, right?
yeah, I had an older cousin who just graduated college, and she gave, power of attorney to him before she died. And, I- she was pregnant with his name was Anthony. She was pregnant with him when my mom died. So I went through that, and I stayed with her with Wade's mom a lot, and then she went into labor, went to the hospital, had him, and brought him home. Had him, for a few months, and then I got in some trouble, and I ended up doing 8 months in a juvenile program. And, I know it was hard on her being so young and alone, basically with a baby. So
And who's she
made the
staying with at the time?
She was staying with her grandfather in
Grandfather.
Tampa. Yeah.
In Tampa. Okay. All right. At least she had someone to lean on a bit,
Yeah, she had a good family. Her parents and grandparents, they were good people.
Okay. Okay. So you get your 8 months. She keeps the baby around. At what point does the whole adoption process come through? That came into play pretty soon after, or what?
Yeah, I was about to get out in 2 months, and I got a legal document saying that she was putting him up for adoption. And I was a kid. I didn't really have nobody to have my back. So it was what it was. I couldn't fight that. I wanted to at that time, but I couldn't do anything about it.
I mean, at that age, it might have been for the best anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I know me at 15.
Yeah. Listen,
Golly.
as I've matured, I understand that was 100% the right decision to do. So, I'm not upset about it. So,
yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people agree, including myself. All right. So, and that's pretty much the end of that. He just kind of vanished off into the adoption process. And,
yeah.
I mean, now after the fact, later on down the road, if he lived in a somewhat decent foster care.
Yeah. The people that adopted him, his mother, her parents knew these people from their church. So
yeah, I think I remember reading about that.
Yeah. And they were looking to have a baby boy. So it just worked out where they adopted him, and gave him a good life. They're good people.
Did you know about any of that?
I didn't know specifically who it was or anything. I just knew they were from the church that her parents went to. And,
yeah,
I know at one point they moved to Tallahassee. I heard that over the years, but that was it. I never had any contact or anything.
Okay. And some point y'all end up linking back up.
Yeah.
How did that go down?
Just random. When he was 18, I think he had reached out to his mother, and I hadn't seen her or talked to her since he was given up for adoption.
Really?
And
wow.
Yeah. So I got a message or something that he had reached out to her and was looking for me as well. So we got in touch like that.
Okay. Okay. So break it down. The first time meeting up with a man, well, first off, are you tall?
No, absolutely
well, he's pretty tall, right?
I don't know where he got that from. He didn't get it from us, I promise you.
He might not be yours, man.
Luckily, I did get the DNA test, so I know that for sure.
I hate to say that, bro. I'm just playing, man, But
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, where the hell did this dude get this height from? Everybody keeps saying he's 6'5". He's not 6'5".
Skips a generation or something. Oh, he's not 6'5"?
No, he's not 6. He's like 6'3".
6'3", 6'3".
Don't get me wrong.
He's 6'3",
tall.
but okay. That's tall.
Yeah, he's tall. He's still taller than me, I promise that.
Oh my goodness. All right, man. I'm trying not to laugh at this type of stuff right now. You know what I mean? But you meet up with him. I mean, how was it? Where'd y'all meet up at for the first time?
We talked on the phone.
Yeah, but
That's
how
how we
much did you talk to him before you ended up meeting up in person?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
He seemed
I'll be
normal?
honest-
He seemed normal?
No, absolutely not.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
But you have to understand by the time.
I wasn't expecting that. Was he normal? No, absolutely not.
Time he came into my life, you know, we were opposite ends of everything. You know, he was where I once was. You know,
Oh,
he was in
man.
active addiction. He was, you know, doing that thing. You know, just everywhere.
I mean, did he
Needing-
tell you this when he first? Did he tell you
Yeah.
straight up, "Hey, I'm addicted to this, that, and the third"? Or
Yeah.
okay, he just straight up told you, huh?
Yeah, well, we talked, and I knew, I could tell, and you know, I told him about my past, and he told me where he was at that time, and you know, it really, I felt like I needed to make up lost time. So, you know, anything he wanted, you know, I was sending him money, getting him hotel rooms, sending him Ubers, you know, anything
Yeah.
he needed, you know.
Yeah.
And he was, you know, in and out of jail. He ended up going to prison, and he did about a year, and that's where he lost his teeth at.
How'd that happen?
He just got jumped on. You know, he doesn't do good with men.
Yeah.
You know, he's not built like that. You know, he's a coward when it comes to men. That's the truth. You know, when he was in prison, he was checking in.
I agree with that. Look at how he was talking to Joey. Hey, you know what? I got a picture of Joey. Hold on a minute, people. Hold on a minute. A YouTuber on here? Found him. Okay, where's the picture? There it is. Hold on, you guys. So we get to see who Joey is. Hold on. All right. Here's Joey. That's who Wade, aka Anthony, was saying that he loved in the phone call the other day. Amongst other things.
Multiple times, owing people money, you know, just doing that stupid stuff. So his anger's always been towards women. It's he doesn't try men like that.
Well, was there any time where you felt like that you seen him get violent with women before any of this other stuff took place?
Oh yeah. What would end up happening is, you know, he would get with a girl, and they'd hang out, rip and run for a while, and then something would happen, you know, and she'd end up calling me. You know, he choked me out. You know, he jumped on me last night. You know, I don't know what to do. He scares me. You know, all that. And when he would be high, that's when he gets so paranoid, and he just loses it. You know, he becomes a different. You know how alcohol makes some people courageous.
Yeah.
You know, when he would do meth, that's what would happen. But it was always with women. You know, he's never had a problem with women, getting women. So that's who he would always take everything out on, is women.
Did he have any kind of relationship with his mom after the whole adoption thing?
A couple times, I think the adoption has hurt her worse than people think, and the older she got, she just never could pull out of it, man. She's been in and out of prison.
Oh, the mom too. I didn't know that, but it's still no excuse. I don't think nobody will ever know why he did what he did, because now he's saying that he was set up. But what was I just going to say about him? He must hate women. I mean, you look at that record of his. Plus, there's a record, or the DA did. Oh, you know what? I gotta find that. Let's listen. I'm gonna find that thing about the DA.
So you've been in his life way more than his mom.
I mean, yeah. She's battled her own issues. She still is trying to get her stuff together. So there was a few times where, he'd want money from me because he'd want to go down to Tampa or St. Pete and run the streets with her. And I said, I'm not doing that.
Wait,
I'm not
with the mom?
With his biological mom.
Oh, okay. So she was running with him a little bit.
Well, that's what they were trying to do, but I told him, I'm not sending you down here for that. That's going to end you up in trouble. I don't want that for you. And that's your mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's wild, man. All that put together, it could definitely do something to a young man's mind as a child and going up. That's just how it is. Some people it doesn't affect. Some people it does. And also, like I said to you before, some eggs just come out bad, and there's nothing that you can do about it. It's mental issues, man. You know what I mean? Something's wrong with the ticker.
One thing I've heard a lot of is people have said that when she was pregnant with Wade or Anthony, whatever back then, that she used drugs, and that's not true.
Okay.
She never used drugs with him. She didn't drink. She didn't smoke. She didn't do any of that. Yeah. Now, as far as any mental illness, I don't know about that because, we haven't seen each other or dealt with each other. So I know she's battled addiction, but she never used with him when she was pregnant.
Well, I mean, she was young, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And, he was a kid, like me.
Yeah. It was different time and age too. I mean, young people can be addicted, but the majority ain't getting into that super hard stuff till a little older, you know what I mean? But anyways, speaking of which, since you clarified about something, is there any other type of things that you might want to, kind of clarify that you might have been hearing that might be some misconfusion?
One thing I've learned from this whole incident is, I used to be the type that would like scroll through videos and, oh, that's so sweet, or man, that's messed up. And I believed them. I believed the videos. One thing I have learned from this, man, I don't believe nothing, because I see so many videos of whoever posting these videos like they have facts about something, and they don't even know the half of it, and it really pisses me off because I'll tell you one thing that pisses me.
And that is so true. I mean, TikTok, it is crazy. And these people, I've had people over this guy come at me and try to get me to lose my channel on there because of my stance on Wade, aka Anthony, which I don't tell anybody what they should think or feel. I just show, not evidence, whatever I research and what I find, you know what I mean? That's what I do. But these women are just in love with him, and it's just sick, you guys.
It's me on. They want to post everybody's records. Anybody who was involved with this case, they want to post their records.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn if you post my record.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me knows my past.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect me at all. But, I read these comments and videos that say, how can we believe these people? Look at their past. They've been arrested. They've been to jail. They've been drug addicts. But you can't have it both ways. Wade's a drug addict. Wade's been to prison. Wade has a past. So you're defending him because you believe he's innocent, and that's your choice. But you can't criticize or judge anybody else about their past when the person you're defending has the exact same past and a lot worse than most.
Yeah.
So I just think it's so hypocritical.
Yeah. A lot of things can be.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I've even seen stuff, about my wife, because I had the phone on speakerphone, and my wife was subpoenaed to testify. She didn't want to testify. I didn't want to testify, but they chose not to use her. So, people have questioned that, why did the wife, why didn't they? It's just ridiculous. It's almost like people are trying to just find anything to justify how they feel about this case,
They wanted someone else to blame other than Wade. Like,
Exactly.
You've already heard this question quite a bit. Let's start about around the time when he tells you about the first murder.
Yeah.
How the hell did that go down, man? Did you even believe him at first?
No. He's never told me a story like that. Hey, I killed somebody. Usually it's a long drawn out, my car's broke down, or his girlfriend's car's broke down. We need tires. We need this. So it was always those type of kind of junky move stories, and just needing help, But so when he called me, I was working. It was early afternoon, and it was a random number that I didn't recognize, but that was normal. He would call me from all different kinds of numbers. He couldn't keep a phone. So I answered the phone, and he said, hey, Dad, I need some help. Well, I automatically thought, he needs a hotel. He needs money, for whatever. So it was a hot day. I was frustrated. I said, listen, call me around dinner time. I'll be done working. Just call me. Then we'll figure it out. So he calls me, and he's in a panic. I could tell he's high, and I need help. I've done something I can't take back. There's two people that aren't with us anymore. And
did you know any of those girls?
No.
Didn't know nothing about them, huh?
I live 2 hours away, so I'm not familiar with that area at all.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, oh God, here we go. I just thought he was on one. And we talked for a few minutes. I said, listen, I'm on my way home. I said, call me back tonight and we'll figure it out. I said, are you safe where you are? And he said, yeah, I'm good. I'm in the house. I'm good. I said, all right. So in the meantime,
and he's already told you about taking two people out.
Yeah, but it was general. That's all he said, and he didn't say, he just said, I've done something I can't take back. So
now look, I hate to stop you. I know you've told this story before, but I haven't heard it. Honestly, I haven't heard it. I even in the court trial, I just kind of watched that little snippet that they had. My next move.
So he has a record. Actually, both these guys do. This guy, he's pretty cool. I don't know what he's in prison for, but anyways, he's better himself, and his channel is to, help better other inmates. Because a lot of people that have been in prison, they come out with a felony, nobody wants to hire them and stuff like that.
I would have been to tell my old lady.
That was part of it, because here's where I kind of get things twisted sometimes. I'm a changed person, I promise you. But a lot of times I go back in that mode, okay? And I know when something's going on, a lot of times I just react and I don't take a breath and think about it, And that was part of it. I wanted to get home. I wanted to talk to my wife because I knew there was a different vibe about this conversation with him. But I just wasn't ready for it yet. But I knew something was coming, So I did. I went home, but before
I'm putting myself in your shoes, man. I'm putting myself in your shoes. Immediately, I would have been like, I'm going to the crib, and I already know what my old lady would say. Look, he killed someone. Record everything. That's the first thing she's gonna tell me to do. Record. Yeah. She's got 4 different recordings and recording every.
Yeah. The good thing about my wife is I've known her longer than I've known, Wade's biological mom.
Wow.
So she knows everything about me.
Wow. That's a long
So,
time. Well,
yeah.
Before you move forward, look, you being locked up and you know that this kind of conversation's on its way. Are you feeling any kind of paranoia?
No,
No?
because one thing about me that I've learned over the years of doing the right thing, I just don't, if my hands are clean, I don't worry about it on that angle. I worry about it on an emotional level, because I don't know where we're about to go with things.
Yeah.
But, but in the meantime, as I'm driving home, I get a call, and it's a detective from the Cape Coral Police Department.
Before
And
you even talk to him again.
Yeah. In between the second call and me getting home to talk to my wife, I get a call from a detective. And what he had done was called me from one of these girls' phones.
Oh, man.
So that's how they got my phone number. And in the process, I got a text message from somebody telling me that my son had jumped on his girlfriend and tried to kidnap her. So as I'm on the phone with the detective, I get a text message that tells me that. So I'm thinking, oh man. The detective asked me who I was. I said, I'm his biological father. And she said, do you know where he's at? And I said, no, I don't know where he's at. And she said, have you heard from him? I said, yeah, I've talked to him a couple times today. And she said, are you going to talk to him again? We need to talk to him. And I said, he said he'd call me later, And she said, listen, take this number down. If you hear from him, call us. I said, okay. Hung up the phone with her, went home, talked to my wife, told my wife about the text, told my wife about the detective, what Wade had said to me. And that's the only details I knew at that time. So, I was kind of left for a couple hours waiting to hear from him. And he finally called me. It was about 10 o'clock at night when he called me from the same number he called me from earlier.
And it's a girl's number.
No, not the first time. That was
okay.
from the girl phone. The second time was from a different number.
Oh, okay.
And he told me he was in a house, he was safe. What he did was he took both of their phones. So he kept Christine's phone open and called me from that phone initially. And then a lot of stuff happened in between. And he ended up in a house.
So he had both their phones? Villains know how to talk because that's all they didn't tell. You're funny.
He broke into a house. He called me about 10 o'clock and we talked, just small talk for a few, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, Dad, I need you to come get me. I'm in trouble. So I'm like, my first reaction, I said, are you safe? And he goes, I'm safe. I just got to get out of here. So I jump up. I'm going to get my shoes on, get ready, and I'm going to drive down there and get him. Well, as I'm thinking about it, I said to myself, you better find out what's going on before you just drive down there.
Start touching things.
End up in some stuff. I don't want to be involved with this.
I'm like, hold on, bro. Hold on, son.
Yeah.
Hold on, man. Let's talk about these two people you killed first, because I ain't coming over there and touching nothing of yours. As I would have done straight like that to him.
Yeah. Well, I said to him as I'm getting ready and getting all my shit together, I said, listen, you got to tell me what's going on. I said, you know my past. I said, I need to know what's going on. And he started from the top. He told me him and Mila went to the Buddha, hanging out, and he gave me kind of a shorter version. He said they got into an argument.
And Mila's one of his girlfriends.
That was his girlfriend.
Main girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. He said, we got an argument, and I ended up leaving the bar with two girls. And I was like, okay. He left out the whole part about going to the dude's house and all that. He didn't tell me any of that. All he said was they went back to one of the girls' houses and hung out for a little while. He said he said her friend left and they had sex and she fell asleep on the bed. And he said he stayed up for a little while, just kind of partying. And he said he just walked in there, got on top of her and choked her to death. And at first I was thrown by it. You know, I didn't know. I'm trying to hear in his voice, you know, is this another story? But I can hear the panic in his voice, you know. I said, why, son? And he said, Dad, I don't know. Just wanted to do it. So
You believe that?
What's that?
Do you believe that?
The truth about it is, for years, I've told my wife, I said, my biggest fear is one day he's going to kill one of these girls. Because I'm telling you.
You had so many calls, man,
Oh my
from
God.
girls getting beat by him.
Multiple girls, man, would call me, text me, you know, just desperate. Young girls, you know, just don't know what to do, don't know how to deal with it, looking for help, you know. And everybody would say, you know, when he's not on drugs, man, he's a great dude. He's funny. He's cool to hang out with, you know, but it's something in him. Man, when he gets high, he flips out, man. I just think he just took it one step farther this time. I think he's wanted to do that for a long time. I know he's never done that before. He's never killed a woman before. I know that. But
I think, in my humble opinion, I think once he started, he wasn't going to stop. Look at, you got Christine, Diane, and then he was going to do the same thing to Mila. I don't think he would have stopped.
so when he told me that, it hurt me, but it didn't surprise me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's wanted to do it for a while.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think about all these, you know, videos and all this that people talk about. I wonder what all these people would say if all these prior girlfriends and baby mama, told their story.
Yeah.
Because they've been pretty quiet. I haven't seen anything from any of them.
You know, just trying to make sense of it. It's wild to think, man.
Yeah, my 15-year-old,
Uh-huh.
you know, these kids, they don't put their phones down.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard on my young son because, you know, his friends have seen it, you know, and kids in school, I know, have probably seen all this madness. And, you know, they talk shit, but he's a strong kid. And I've taught him to be strong mentally.
Yeah.
And he's handling it really good.
Well, that's
So
good.
I'm proud
Man.
of
That's
him.
good.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, so the more he talked about it to me, the more I could hear it in his voice. He was almost reliving it. You know what I mean? And I had such a feeling listening to him tell me what he had done. You know, it got to the point where I put the phone on speakerphone because I felt like if I told my wife this, she wouldn't have believed me.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt like I needed somebody else to hear this because I almost felt, you know, I went back to like seeing him born in my memory, you know, bringing him home, holding him as a baby, sleeping with him, bathing him, feeding him, doing all these things with him. You know, I missed all those other years. So my memory of him was as a baby. And now he's a man. And I'm hearing this man that I helped create, telling me the details of all these things with joy in his voice. You know, it made me want to throw up. I literally put the phone away and felt like I was just going to throw up. And at that moment, that's the moment when I realized I hadn't even heard about Diane's situation yet. But just the details that he went into about Christine, you know, rolling her up in the bedding and tying her up and dragging her down you know, trying to get her to the car, but he couldn't. She was too heavy, you know. Hearing him describe those things to me, I can't explain that feeling, from your kid, your son. Yeah, I didn't raise him. But we had a strong connection because he knew my past, and we talked about that. We talked about, getting help for his demons, getting him some drug help to get off the drugs. We had detailed conversations, and that's why he called me. That's why, he felt comfortable to talk to me about it, because I think a part of him knew that I wouldn't judge him on it, but he knew I wouldn't be okay with it, because we had countless conversations about the physical stuff with these girls in the past, and I would try to give him a different perspective. What if that was one of your sisters, man? What?
Okay, I wonder how many siblings he has. Okay, because he's got the family that adopted him. So he probably doesn't feel whole because he's not blood. I'm just talking, you guys. And it sounds like maybe his dad has 2 kids. I don't know about his biological mom. Is it jealousy? I don't know. Do they? What I find is interesting that they were church people. Like that matter. I know.
What if that was your biological mom? What if that was your adopted mom? Would you want somebody treating them that way? But it never changed. I know, Dad, I know I'm wrong, but the cycle would continue,
Yeah.
So it was hard to hear, for sure.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Well, you already know that the detectives are pretty much getting a lead to everything that he's doing. So know they're going to hear this.
Yeah.
So
I mean, before he even started continuing the story, in my mind, I knew, I can't help him with this.
Oh, it was sealed shut right there.
I'm a firm believer, man. You don't hurt children, and you don't hurt women, and these women were innocent. It's not like they got they were in a relationship and got in a heated argument. This was on the fly.
Yeah.
And it stemmed from his anger from his argument with Mila. That's where he really got pissed off.
Oh, man.
At the bar.
See, now look, this is another little picture I was painting in my head. A lot of guys, man, if the girl's really mad at him for leaving with another girl, he could have snapped and said, well, I'm going to take her out. Maybe that'll make her feel a little better, because he's so mad in a rage,
Mad. Yeah. And I don't know the ins and outs of the argument. He never went in detail with me about it, but I knew that that's where it stemmed from. His anger started there that night. And then, the drugs and just probably stewing on that argument. He did what he did.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I wasn't 100%, but I was about 95% knowing this is bad. This I cannot go along with this,
Yeah.
And
that's the thing, man. A lot of people, maybe not so many, but there's going to be some that would say, that would say, oh, hell no. Even after talking to the detectives and all that, I'm gonna still protect him. I'm not, ain't no way, you get smoked right with him. You know what I mean? At this point, there ain't no helping, like you said.
Yeah. And
besides mentally,
Right, exactly. And let me just make this clear. I've read a lot of stuff where people say, hell no, that not my son. I would never turn my son in. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hard decision, I promise you. And it's the worst decision I've ever had to make, like in my mind. But I knew, because I know him so well, I knew in my heart what was gonna happen. 100%. I knew what was gonna happen. I could hear it in his voice. And I tried, it was so bad, I was trying to almost calm him down, because he was so amped up telling me about it. And he just told me, he left her. He left her in the house. He took her car, took her phone, and And then he went into he didn't go in detail about Mila much in that situation, but he told me he was driving. He's like, I don't know where I'm at. You know, he hadn't been in Fort Myers, Cape Coral area long at all. So he had no sense of direction. He didn't know where he was at. He was just driving. And to jump to Diane's situation, he told me that he saw her walking down the street. You know, he stopped, he asked her for directions, asked her if she needed a ride, and she got in the car. You know, I don't, you know.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's the first I heard of that. He asked her for directions. However, in a phone call that he had recently with who, I can't remember who. God, what did they say? She just jumped into the car. Oh, they asked, how did you get her into the car? And he goes, she just jumped in. Wade is a big liar. People with tattoos have. Oh, God. Okay. You're funny.
You know, I battle with that because I don't get that part of it. And you know, who knows
Who
what
knows?
really happened.
At that point,
you
he
know?
could have just snatched her up, man.
Yeah. You
And
know, who
painted a
knows?
picture however he wanted to paint it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know, he told me she got in the car and
I hate to stop you again, but you hear comments like that. What kind of girl would just jump in someone's car? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We don't know. You're
don't know.
Man.
Don't know what
people
happened.
will take anything and run with it, man. You know,
Yeah.
they can't. You got to leave. It's too many possibilities. You know, we only know what we know.
And there was only two people there for that situation, and he's the only one that's able to tell what happened.
Yeah.
So, you know, he told me they drove for a few minutes, and he said, Dad, I just reached over and I just choked it out with one hand, you know, and I was driving with the other. He said he then was looking for somewhere to dump her body, and he drove around for a little bit, and he said he went in and dumped her body in the woods. And he said to me, when he pulled her out of the car, he realized that she was still alive. And he said he got back in the car and he said, Dad, I run that bitch over till she looked like spaghetti.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Hearing my son say that to me, I realized at that point that it was over. You know, I knew he enjoyed it. I knew he wanted me to feel, I don't even think intentionally he wanted me to feel his excitement. I just feel like he just was so amped up talking about it. You know, that's just how it came off to me. Was almost like he wanted me to feel, you know, I don't want to say joy. I don't know what the feeling was. Just adrenaline, maybe. You know, he wanted me to feel that.
Maybe he wanted you to have some kind of a acceptance of it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Or maybe, you know, he was trying to get you tricked the hell up too. Yeah. Some little like some bitter payback stuff. He's going down. He's going to bring the dad that should have been there for me down too. You never know. Because, you know, anyone who's been locked up knows you talking like to someone like that, you're making them an accessory right off the break. Yeah. Anyone would know that. And if they care about him at all, they would, you know. So they'd be very bland. But from what he's broke down everything to you.
And I'm giving you the short version of things.
Yeah.
When I tell you, it's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. It's the worst thing that I've ever listened to in my life. And it amplified it so much because, like I said, all I could think about was him as a baby, you know, just that innocent kid, you know. And I just was, in my mind was like, how did we get here? You know what I mean? How did we get here? Because he wasn't raised like that. His adoptive family, they're solid people, good people, hardworking, honest Christian people.
Have you spoken to them at all since that took place?
Yeah, I've spoken with his mother. Yeah.
I can only imagine how they're feeling about it. Like they can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I know how I feel. I can only imagine raising him. You know, and they went through a lot. You know, they tried everything with him. I mean, they tried everything. They put him in facilities to try to help him. They knew he was using drugs. They tried to get him help. You know, he was in and out of detention centers, and you know, he chose a different route. You know, they did their job. and they tried to instill morals and
salute to
good
them.
values in me.
Yeah, salute to them, man. You know,
So they're solid people. This
That's
is
good.
not a reflection, anything on any part of them, because they really are great people.
Yeah.
So there's a part of it that never came out in the court. And, you know, after he was arrested, him and I spoke on the phone a few times. And it was 2 days after he was arrested. I got a call from that same detective. And she asked me, she said, "Do you think that Wade would talk to you?" And I said, "Yeah, I think he'll talk to me." And I asked her why. And she said, "You know, we're searching for Diane's body and we can't find her. Do you think if you came down and visited with him, you know, that we could try to get some information, anything about it, you know?" And I said, "Yeah." So the next day, my wife and I drove down, and she stayed in the truck and I went in to visit him. And
they give you a normal visit or some kind of
it just
special
through
visit?
the glass on the phone,
Okay.
you know. He came up to the glass and he looked at me and he said, "Dad, did you turn me in?"
Mm.
And I said, "Yeah, I did." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Son, the excitement that I heard in your voice on the phone scared me, because I knew that if you got away with this and got out of this area, that you would do it again."
Yeah.
And you know, he looked at me for a minute and he said, "You know, you know me so well." And I said, "What does that mean?" And he said, "You're exactly right. That's exactly what I would have done." And hearing him say that, it just solidified for me that
Yeah.
I had made the right decision,
Oh yeah.
you know, because, you know, he openly said that to me, man, that was his intention, to get out of this area and keep on going. So for that, I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't bother me, because I know in my heart that I did the right thing. You know, I made the right choice.
Yeah, I agree.
So-
When I did that first video and I said that, man, you know, can't let it ruin your whole life. You know, you got other kids and all kinds of stuff going on, man. He would
Yeah.
ruin all their lives if you
Yeah.
wanted to go. You would have to go on to run with your son. I mean, the detectives already heard everything, you know. So
Yeah.
it's ridiculous for people to even think that would help anything. You know, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It wouldn't help nothing. I mean, did it end well, that conversation?
Yeah. You know, in that visit was the first time that I saw or heard some emotion in my son's voice, because I said to him, I said, "Listen, you know, the second woman," I said, "You know, she has 2 kids, right?" And he was like, "No." And I said, "Yeah, you know," I said, "It's really hard for me, son, to sit at home and watch this media coverage and seeing her children on TV begging their mom to come home." I said, "It's hard for me, son, because you and I both know that that's not going to happen." And I said to him, I said, "You know, think about it. What if that was your sisters, your mother, your biological mom, you know, a woman you cared about? What, you know, would you want just, you know, someone to do the right thing?" You know, I said, "Right now you look like an animal." I said, "But you can turn it around. You know, you can do the right thing." I said, "They need to find her body." And he was, you know, he had tears in his eyes. And he said, "Well, what do I do?" I said, "You tell the truth, son." I said, "You tell the truth. What's done is done. You can't change it, but you can try to make it a little better, you know, for this family." And I didn't anticipate for him to go into detail with me about it, you know, but he said, "I'm not familiar with Fort Myers. You know, I don't know the area." And I just thought to myself for a second, I said, "Did you throw her purse out of the car?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, they found her purse." And it's like a light bulb clicked in his head. And he said, "Okay, well, where her purse was, you know, if you go down a little bit, there's like a neighborhood where they're building houses. They're real spread out." He said, "I turned in there."
I hope these women that think he's innocent watch this interview and really pay attention. Wade told on himself the whole time. Nobody set him up. In my humble opinion, he is going to get the needle. And I say that because how horrific the crime is and how he is a danger, and he showed no emotion and he had nothing to say to the family.
I went to the back and I saw a wooded area, and that's where I put her body. So, thankfully he did that. You know, he did the right thing with that.
Tells the truth.
I know they found her body that day. So, he asked me, you know, will you tell the detectives to come talk to me, and I'll tell them the truth. Well, they were watching the video, you know, the visit, so they already knew the truth. And they did come talk to him that night. And that's that.
Okay. I don't think these women think he is innocent. I think they want the manliest of men. No, they do. They do. They have TikToks dedicated to him. We're going to set you free. Do you know within 4 hours they raised over $63,000 for this guy? That's sick. Who knows what is up to now?
That's where that confession was played in court. That's when that happened, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've heard people say, you know, he was set up. I've read stuff that says, you know, his dad probably did it,
Yeah.
and he's, you know, using his son as the fall guy. It blows my mind. It blows my mind the theories that people come up with sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
You had asked me about you know, when I first met him.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, we talked for a little while, and he was in and out of jail. You know, the time he was in Tallahassee, I was in Central Florida. So, you know, it never worked out. And he ended up getting locked up one day in Tallahassee in the county jail.
Mm-hmm.
And I called up there and talked to a supervisor or whatever. And I said, you know, I explained the situation to him. I said, this is my son, you know, he was given up for adoption. Haven't had the chance to meet him. You know, is there any way I can come up and visit? And he said, can you be here tonight? I said, yeah. And he said, all right, when you get here, I'll let you visit for a little while. So that's where we met face to face the first time, you know. And I remember he was already sitting down through the glass, you know, when I walked up, and we picked up the phone, and he looked at me and he said, are you my dad? I said, yeah, I'm your dad. And he said, I knew it. You know, it was almost like we just, you know, we connected, you know.
Sad, man.
Yeah, we did connect, but, you know, we just never had the chance. You know, he was doing his thing. So
It's your son, man. You know?
Yeah.
Very, very, very sad story. But I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's one hell of a story. You know,
Yeah,
something out of a fictional movie.
Yeah. It's crazy.
No parent can ever imagine something like this unfolding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've had people ask me, you know, what if one of your two boys did something like this? What would you do? And I said, first of all, I raised those boys. I can promise you they would never do that. I would bet my life that that would never happen, you know. I've taught them good morals. Their moms taught them good morals. And I don't know where that comes from, man. I'm not that guy. You know, I'm not aggressive like that with women. I'm not I don't do that. You know, so I don't know. I don't know where that came from, man. You know, I have dealt with a little guilt behind this, and I know it's stupid, and I know that it's not my fault
I
at
think
all.
it's normal, man. Everyone would feel a little bit if they got a heart, you know.
Well, my guilt comes from you know, he was in Tallahassee, man. He wasn't doing good. He said he wanted to straighten up. He said he wanted to get clean. He wanted to come down here with me and work, you know. And I said to him, I said, listen, you can't come down here and work with me like this. I said, you need to get some help, man. I said, I'll set it up for you. I'll take care of everything. And I didn't think he would go, but he went. And I put him on a bus from Tallahassee to Palm Beach. And he stayed a couple weeks in the facility and met up with somebody and left, you know. And my guilt has always been, you know, maybe if I hadn't sent him down to South Florida, heading down to Palm Beach and the Keys and all that, it was wide open for him.
Yeah.
You know, I thought he had a good setup. You know, he was working, and the problem was he just couldn't stop. He couldn't stop getting high. He couldn't stop the drinking. He doesn't have a license, so you know he's driving all over the Keys, getting pulled over, getting arrested, going to jail. You know, I heard this theory that said, you know, when he was down in the Keys, it was a whole international drug ring, and
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this.
human
Yeah.
trafficking and this and that. And he was brought down for security. Listen, do you really think a big organization like that is going to hire a convicted felon with no license to be their driver in their security?
What? Oh my God, did you hear that? He said he was security. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, they're not doing that.
Well,
I mean, it's common sense thinking, you know?
and there's a lot of things that I've said to myself, man, he is just making stuff up, you know? And
Yeah.
When I've realized that, then I realized, like we were talking about earlier, anything could be possible. And the way these
That's right.
individuals died, how it all happened, everything could just be a bullshit paint job, you know,
Yeah.
with a little bit of truth in it. If I were to bet it, I'd bet my whole house on it, you know?
100%. And you know how it goes when people first get arrested and they're coming off that dope or whatever they're doing. That's when they're more authentic. You know,
Yeah.
they're making those phone calls and they're apologizing and they're telling the truth. It's when they've sobered up and they've had time to think about and process what they've done and what they're facing. That's when the stories start. You know, that's when, oh, I need to make that. I'm innocent. You know, and these stories are created and these people run with these stories.
Yeah.
It's madness to me.
Yeah.
The irony of it is he still pulling the strings from a jail cell, you know? He's got, I mean, it's just crazy. I was looking at these accounts, you know, raising money and stuff. And I may have missed it, but I went down the list of all these people that have donated. And hey, what you do with your money, it's your money. I don't care what you donate your money to, but it's just all women. It's all women. And if you really
That's kind of scary, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, really sit back and think about it. If you go down the donation list, it's all women.
Yeah.
So think about that. I mean, he's pulling y'all strings from a jail cell, you know? And he's a good looking kid. He's a man. And he knows it. He knows he's a good
I think that's a
man.
bulk. If he was ass ugly, man, I don't think it would be going down like that. Trust me.
Yeah, there was
I do have something I gotta ask you, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, how the hell did he get that nice blue suit in the courtroom? Who got him that suit, man?
All right, this is simple. There's when he was in Palm Beach, he met a guy, he's a Christian guy, I think. You know, him and his wife, they have like an outreach, you know, to help young people on the streets and young drug addicts and stuff like that. And he befriended this guy, and this guy went to Goodwill prior to the trial starting and matched up all the suits and
Man, he got that snazzy thing from the Goodwill.
Yeah, he said he went to Goodwill.
Yeah, he said he went to Goodwill.
Someone important got them threads dug up.
Okay, I gotta find the documents on this. What I'm saying, what they're doing, not these guys. Wade's groupies. Who's ever running the official Wade Wilson, Save Wade Wilson? They're auctioning off. Let's see, one I've seen for $100, you get a piece of his clothing from the trial. That's what they're doing to raise money for him also. For him to write you $50 to get a phone call. I can't remember how much that one was.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they
Yeah.
even let him in there with something that flashy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder, did the guy know what he was going to court for?
Yeah. He knew the situation. I think he's still in touch with Wade. I think they still communicate.
Yeah. He knew he had to dress to impress for that, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. But yeah, the ladies might see him in that sharp suit, you know, bad boy look, and not to mention a lot of girls too. You know, they're trying to get a payday too.
Yeah, I saw something earlier where, you know, mentioned, thankfully he's been able to be in touch with his family again.
Oh yeah.
And I can assure you, he has not reached out to anybody, his adoptive parents, anybody. So,
Not even you.
No, nobody. Because, I hate to say this, but he doesn't need anybody right now. His commissary's fat. He's got an army of wives, I think they call themselves.
My God, man.
And that's all he's ever wanted, take care of me in jail, take care of me on the streets, take care of me, and as his dad, I hate that side of him. It's so much easier to be genuine and honest and not use people, and I hate that for him. I hate that at his age that he still does that, but he knows he's a good looking man, and that's his MO,
Yeah. Very
So,
selfish
I
individual,
just-
it sounds like, man.
Yeah. And I just, I wish I had more time to try to help him through some of those issues and turn him around, but there's just no going back from that. So, there's an old saying, I've thought about it today, it says, I brought you into this world and I'll take you out of it. And I know what it implies, but I don't mean it that way. I mean the free world. I felt like as his dad, with what he did, it was my responsibility to not have another family go through that, and it was hard for me to do that. But in my heart, I knew that was the right choice. So
Yeah.
I don't regret it.
Yeah. I mean, do you think, was there at any point before he stopped talking to you that you had wind that he might be really angry at y'all?
I asked him, and when we were visiting, and he said, I'm not mad at you. I know you did what you had to do. So I know that was the genuine Wade in that visitation. So I kind of hold on to that because we haven't spoke. The last time we spoke, we got into it on the phone because he was reaching out to the media, trying to do these interviews from jail, and claiming I'm set up, I didn't do it.
Yeah, I've seen
And
some of those.
Yeah, he called me after that, and I said, "Son, what are you doing, man?" I said, "Listen, I know what you're trying to do, but the way it comes off, it just you sound so phony. You sound fake. You're stumbling over your words. You're kind of making stuff up as you go." And I said, "It's not being received well." I had told him, I said, don't talk to the media. I know they have a job to do, and I respect their job, but when you're trying to fumble over your words and kind of make stuff up on the fly, it comes off bad.
Yeah.
And that was my point, to telling him that, you don't need
all that stuff might
that.
be brought up and looked at during his
Yeah.
full sentencing as well, so
Exactly.
judges might
Exactly.
see this stuff and see right through the evilness and like, this guy's got to go,
Yeah.
Florida's good
Yeah.
for that, man. They're definitely are. But this is another thing, if he ever hits any other prisons, if he don't stay, do you know if what kind of living conditions he's in? 23 and 1, I'm guessing.
Yeah. They've got him locked down. Him and a cellmate that he had a few years ago, they tried to escape out of the jail.
Yeah, I read
Out
about
their
that.
window.
Yeah.
So I think since then he's been locked down.
Yeah, no,
So-
especially with the popularity of the case too now. Probably gonna
Yeah.
keep him in there because if he ever hits the main line, man, some people might have something in store for him.
Yeah. And the other thing I feel like I have to defend in a way is all these swastikas and all that.
Yeah,
That's not who he is. He at all. That's not who he is. That's all for show. That's his defense mechanism, because like I said before, when he was in prison, I think he spent more time in protective custody than he did on the yard. So I think that's all just trying to look big and bad. I just wanted to say, I haven't spoke to anybody about this. I've had reporters. I get so many messages, and that's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I didn't be in this situation, but from the start, you know, I respected your take on everything because, you know, you understand the
Yeah.
situation and you've been vocal on that. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have had my back, but a lot of people have condemned me for what I think doing the right thing,
Yeah.
you know, and it was hard, but I did it because I knew I needed to.
I mean, he even said, it, man, I'm gonna do
You know,
it.
these people
You know,
gotta
you,
think,
that shit
these people that are criticizing him for doing what he did, how would they feel if it was their mother, their auntie, their sister? See, they're all crazy. And I think the tattoos on his face, I'm not talking about the ones on his head. I think, in my opinion, he's trying to hide who he really is with all those tattoos on his face.
find any kind of thought process like that for you, at least. But
well, maybe all these online detectives, maybe they can figure out a way to get a copy of that visit video. And, you know, I guess at that point they'll figure out a way to, you know, discredit something. But
yeah, they always will. You know, they always will. That's how it goes. You know, but sad what he did, and my condolences go out to the family members once again. They had to go through any family member, even the Foster family. You know, they raised him, so I'm sure they felt a lot like it was their own. You know,
yeah, and you know what else, man, that I don't think people really get, or maybe they just don't care. But you know, when you put all this misinformation out, and you're posting all the same old pictures and the same old stupid stuff, you need to think about these two women's families.
Yeah.
You need to think about, you know, their children, man. You know, it's not just Wade that's going through something. It's not, you know, they have to watch this if they choose to.
Yeah.
And they know what it feels like to go through what they went through. And I can assure you, it was horrific to both of these women.
Yeah.
And it was unnecessary. But before you say things and post things, you really should sit back and think about these people whose lives forever are changed.
Yeah.
Because of something that should have been avoidable, you know?
Yeah.
So
it is what it is.
I appreciate you.
Yep. I appreciate you as well, my friend. And you know, how are you going to feel if they say death?
You know, I don't even know, man. I don't even know because I think I'm torn with that because I've always been, I've seen it differently. You know, I get a lot of people, you know, that no death penalty about, and I get it. I respect your opinion, but I personally have lived with some of the worst monsters, and I've seen their behavior, you know, and so I have a different outlook on certain things. You know, there's a limit to people's grace when it comes to, you know, certain crimes. But I do feel when you do something so just brutal, you know, I don't know. There's no rehabilitation in prison, you know. It's just no different than an animal shelter. You know, they let you out a little bit, throw you some food, throw you some water, whatever. You know, there's no rehabilitation. So I'm torn with that because I know in his heart, he doesn't want to be in general population for the rest of his life. I know he wants that security. And I know that, you know, being on death row, you know, isolated, I think a part of him really knows that he has to have that because with everything he's put all over himself and with the things he's done and some of his life choices, he knows he can't freely walk a prison yard. You know, it's just not going to happen. So, you know, I don't know. When that day comes, you know, that's something I'll have to live with the rest of my life, thinking about, you know, my child possibly getting executed. So, you know, I haven't even dove deep on that one yet.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man. Because you know, even though you did connect with him, you know, I'm guessing he's still kind of like a little bit of a stranger to you in a sense, huh?
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah, and I'm the type of person, man. I'm a fixer. You know, I want to, you know, people that know me know I'm going to help you. I'm there. You know, anything. But I don't know. This one got me. You know, I wasn't expecting it. So I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. It just shit into the stick. You know, you got to play your cards how they're dealt. That's all you can do about it, man. Is there any kind of advice that you could give to any parents out there that might be dealing with a violent kid or anything, anything that might come across your mind?
I mean, the only thing I can say is, do what's right. Do everything in your power to help them, get through it. Push them. Sometimes tough love is the best, but I pray nobody is in this situation as a parent. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if you know that you've done everything in your power for that child, and they still choose to make certain choices, it hurts. You can you wish you could fix it, but you have to do what's right, and you have to think about other people and their suffering.
Yeah.
And it's hard when it's at the hands of a life you created. It's hard.
Yeah.
I don't want to hide from them anymore.
That was a good interview. So yeah, check out this channel. Give them a like. All right. Okay, there was a woman, a girl that got abused by him. I think it was before Mia. That girl. Okay. Palm Beach detective failed to thoroughly investigate the case with her. So let's watch this here.
So Josiah
wandered outside and close to the street.
Oh,
Is going to keep
our family safe. Alexa was just a no-brainer.
I was stunned. My husband dropped in on our Alexa device, instructed my son how to administer the EpiPen.
sorry.
Did the smoke alarm.
We reckon that the smoke alarms upstairs batteries had died, but Alexa heard the ones that was going off in the beat.
Alexa did save my life.
Oh my God.
I'm Fox 4 senior reporter Caitlin Knapp, continuing my coverage of convicted killer Wade Wilson. Just this week, I introduced you to this woman, Kelly Matthews. She claims Wade Wilson sexually assaulted her in 2019, and the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office did not arrest Wilson. Well, I dug deeper and got my hands on the Internal Affairs report, which says the detective in charge of the case failed to do a thorough investigation.
It was on February 18th, 2019, where Kelly Matthews said her then boyfriend, Wade Wilson, attacked her.
He choked me 2 or 3 times. I started to black out.
34 days after reporting that crime, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Deputy Sheriff Lewis Potter closed the case and said there are no witnesses to the alleged crime and no evidence to establish probable cause.
In my case, they didn't do anything.
Matthews filed a complaint on September 5th, 2022, after seeing Wilson was going to trial for murder in Cape Coral. I obtained the Internal Affairs report, where investigators questioned what Potter did. The report says he thought Matthews was credible, then said she had repeated contact with Wilson, which affected her credibility. Potter did agree there were injuries, evidence in her car, and DNA on a sexual assault kit. Investigators asked Potter why he did not file charges or talk to the state attorney's office. The report says he couldn't determine how Matthews got the injuries, saying they could have been self-inflicted, but he did not know, claimed Wilson did not cooperate.
Oh, what a monster. Oh my God. And look at, she lived. Can you imagine what he did to the Christine Diane? Oh my God.
It was like, no, this is hearsay. This is hearsay. Have any probable cause.
Potter said the case also didn't meet state law for dating violence, which was false, according to the report. If he were to conduct a similar investigation in the future, Potter said he would do nothing different. Despite Potter's claims, the sheriff's office found in March 2023 that, quote, all elements of the crime were met, and Deputy Sheriff Potter failed to effect an arrest or file for an arrest warrant for the crime of battery. It went on to say Potter was, quote, not diligent in the application of state statute of ensuring allegations were fully investigated. 8 months after this alleged crime, Wilson killed Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz.
I was just more angry that this could have been avoided if they would have just listened to me and put him in jail at the time.
As for Potter's punishment, he was suspended for 120 hours and put on what is like a performance plan, what they call a last chance agreement. I did reach out to the state attorney's office asking about the case and asking them if they could legally file charges now or if it's past the statute of limitations. They are working on my request. If you want to read more about the internal affairs report, head to fox4now.com. In the studio, Caitlin Knapp, Fox 4.
So there you have it. I mean, if they would have stopped him there, it would have saved 2 people's lives. Okay, that's what I wanted to share. The 41 charges and the 9 arrests. I mean, that's a lot in a short period of time. And especially the ones that have to do with assault and kidnapping. That's scary. Okay, but I want to thank you, Mr. Y, for being here. You're awesome. You were here yesterday too, I think. Was it? And you too, Misty and James and anybody else in the bushes. When I know more about him, I will report it.